All right, people. Sorry about that. Had a little technical difficulty, but guess what? I'm back on now. So, like I said, Jeannie Jones is something that we will be doing. I'm gonna be speaking to her in 1 second. I'm gonna connect her back on, and like I said, big, great things is dealing with Jeannie. So, music industry, television industry, everything. She's doing great things. So, I'm about to try to bring Jeannie on in 1 second. Let's see here. All right, so get ready to learn about impact. And here we go, right here. What's going
We
on?
on.
Video
We
this.
on.
Oh,
Meow.
hi. Yes, Jeannie, thank
Scoop
you.
with Coop.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. I know you're busy.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So how's it in California right now?
California is amazing. As always, things happening, highs, lows, just like any place else in the world. It's just more accentuated here. It's just more in the spotlight on TMZ every day. That's it, you know?
I feel you on that. I feel you. Yes. And Jeannie, I was telling people earlier, you're a returning guest to the show. I think you came on season 2 or 3, one of the two.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep. So I'm a Scoop with the Coop vet. That's what I
Ah,
am.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember on the first show, I did say that you were Oprah in training. And you see, the thing is, I got to remove that now because training is when you're learning. You have proven yourself. You have done big things and you're still doing big things and you take your own avenue. So I got to commend you on that. You've helped a lot of people in the music industry. You have a banging podcast that's going on also that we will talk about in 1 minute also. But for the people that just learned about you or just watching you for the first time now, tell them a little something about Impact.
Okay, well, Ready Set Impact is my multimedia company. It originated in my hometown, Washington, D.C., and I expanded it about 5.5 years ago out to Los Angeles. That was always my vision, probably at 10 years old. It was something about that Hollywood sign. I was like, I'm going to always represent my city. But, because that was the base of productions and I was always creative, in front of the camera, on stage. But I knew early that there weren't enough of us women, you know, all ethnicities in situations of producing, executive producing, positions of influence and power to make things happen. Because at the bottom line, we can see where streaming is taking over. We would never think that a Netflix was competing at the Oscars, getting folks who've been
Mhm.
doing the film business forever. They're mad. They're like, Netflix is coming in and taking these awards. But with evolution, everything constantly changes. So you have to be ready for that wave and even most importantly, see ahead of that. So to me, if we're not in those positions of financing, creating that technology and distribution for the next moves, I mean, what are we really doing?
That's
What are
so
we,
true.
it's not happening.
That's
So, in between creating competitive and great content and being in rooms and situations to negotiate and create these opportunities, absolutely. Absolutely.
yes. Now, Jeannie, a lot of people don't know this. You're in Cali now, but you didn't start in Cali. You jumped from the
Nope.
East Coast where I'm at. Well, not literally where I'm at, but I'm in North Carolina. You was up in DC area, correct?
Right. Well, DC is home, and I may be the only woman. I mean, when you're in media, you doing radio, television. It's normal to start out in other markets or to do a smaller market, then jump to a major market like which includes Washington D.C.
Right.
I was blessed enough and loved my city enough, and they loved me back that I was able to begin my entire career in my hometown and not have to go to another city. I went between the two competing radio stations 4 times. Who gets to do that? Who gets to do that? Most of the time, if you go across the street, you kicked out. You go to another city, you're out. You may come back a few years, but 4 times. And then I was with the Fox Morning News for 10 years. So I'm just forever grateful, humbled. My mentoring program, which is still based there, I have mentored hundreds, probably thousands by now, of children from elementary to collegiate level, which I deliberately inspire, and a lot of them have come on to help me and my company, have gone on to incredible careers. Some have stayed with me, or I will hire them according to what I need. So it's been a win-win the entire time. So like I said, I've just been really fortunate, grateful to start in my hometown, to be there, to establish my career, and then the only other market I ever wanted to be in was LA. So to be able to have a dream, a vision, and to execute it and make it happen, I mean, that's what life is all about, and that's what you should strive to do, especially in the times that we're living in now. Everybody got bills, you got things you got to do, but the at least you can do is do what you're passionate about,
Right.
because then the work is such a joy. We very much so realize that life, you can't call it, we used to could say, 40 and 50 was a new 20 and 30, but now, not being able to laugh at it. I mean, 50 has become a colleague friend of mine just said, let me find out, 40 and 50 has become the new 80, because lives are ending shorter from
Yeah.
whether it's stress, what's in the foods, not being able to afford or handle healthcare. So you owe it to yourself to do what you love. Influence, money, opportunity will come. I promise you. If you do what you love and you stay on it all day, every day, and you give it all you got, you can't lose. You can't lose. And that's why most people don't hit that mark, because they're not. We find reasons to say why we can't or why this isn't happening.
Right.
Man, don't interact with me, because I'm going to tell you every day, go. You got this. You can make it happen. You saying why not? I'm like, no. Yes, you can. Let's get started right now.
So
Yep.
true. So true. Now, when you made that conversion over from the East Coast to the West Coast, what hurdles did you have to go through in transition to get to where you're
Great question. Now, like I said, I was very established in my hometown. They have to want for anything. Worked hard for it 7 days a week. Don't make no mistakes about it. I was like Kevin Hart and I even did a film together. He starred in, that was produced and directed by Morning Man, my show Russ Parr at the time. But I was working all day, every day, 7 days a week, morning, midday, and night, and then we hit the clubs at night. Nobody was going to outwork me. Nobody.
at?
And still won't. Don't let it be something I'm passionate and focused on. It's not going to happen. So, great question. Coop, coming from situations, and we can relate this to anything, like when you're comfortable, or what's going to happen, when you got a formula or a schedule set, and then you come into a market or a territory or a space where you're familiar. The blessing is that I was so consistent in what I was doing that I could go to in LA and my name carried over, people in the industry and music, but that came from consistency. So again, trademarking, whatever it is you're going to do, be the best at it. Okay. I could come to LA because people knew me in music and the film company, from the agencies, and me being consistent in my job for a long time and being number one.
Yeah.
So when I came to LA, there was some familiarity. However, because this is a bigger jungle and everybody comes to LA to make it, everybody's a star. Everybody's walking around with the injected booties and lifted breasts, and everybody, all the fellas are pretty. It's like, whoa, hey. So you have to, your focus and your grind has got to be established. You have to be on it more than ever when you're in a pool or an industry where everybody is claiming they got this. Okay, what is going to set you apart? So it was the challenges were, okay, expanded my production company, going from a location in Burbank, which was great. And then it moved from Hollywood, which was another step up, because a lot of artists, actors, influencers started to come to Ready, Set, Impact, my company. So again, being consistent enough to knowing how to navigate was probably the biggest challenge, because this is a huge city. It's massive, with just millions of people coming in all day, everyday transits. Okay. Talking about living that dream. So that challenges you not only to stand your ground, be firm, make sure your brand is strong, and executing it on an entire higher level all day, every day.
So true. And Jenny, I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna tell everybody that's watching that don't know you, because I know you. And a lot of people see the smile and everything right now. But
Uh-huh.
this woman right here, y'all, I don't understand how she runs and operates, because she never sleeps. I don't see how she does. Like, literally, I could text Jeannie at 11 in the morning or 3 in the morning, and she responds back, and she's
I
all the way
do.
up.
I do.
And
I do.
Jeannie, you show that you actually do a lot of work. I mean, you stay constantly busy. You've helped people from Megan Griffith to Romeo. You helped a lot of people. You have bonded up with people like Common and other people like that. You've done so much and met so many people, and your reputation keeps continuing on today. So, Jeannie, what else do you have going on with you right now? Let's talk about that podcast.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought up sleep. Now, we always talk about we grind and no sleep. I'll sleep when I die. And it's interesting you brought that up because it was a recent controversy that Steve Harvey and a couple other comedians got into a comedic beef, but it was friendly. But Steve Harvey did make mention to you can't sleep if you want to win and be successful on a particular level. And success is different things for certain people. Don't think that, if you're not doing six figures or millions of dollars, that you're not successful. I know people who make 40, 50, $60,000 that they have property, they have two cars, they know how to budget, and they're happy. They take family trips. However, if you're in the entertainment industry, our passion causes us to have to multitask.
Right.
Okay, day, night, whenever. So what Steve meant, it came off hard because he's passionate. He's been through the ground. He knows what it's like
Right.
to be homeless and not be able to like secure a real bag until like late 40s, 50s, and then make it. But he means that if you're in LA, just know East Coast there, you're up at 8, but it's 11, 12 o'clock. Stock market's already done what it's going to do. Agencies have made their buys. You got to get moving. Now, another one of my favorite comedians, Country Wayne, Earthquake is another one. He chimed in and was like, "Yeah, Steve, you right. You can't be sleeping. You got to grind." But Country Wayne, who represents the South so well, he said, "No, y'all keep saying y'all gonna get your sleep when you die. No, I'm gonna get my sleep now because I enjoy my life." and I was doing well before this, industry comedian thing. No, I need my rest to be the best that I can be. He said, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they like, no, get your rest. He says plenty of people who are very wealthy who not only get their rest, but then they take cat naps. They may get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They're going to do some meetings, get their agenda started, but they're going to take that cat nap because, again, we're seeing that we're also, our lives are ending shorter. So
Right.
some type of adjustment has to be made. But I do suggest you get your rest. Everybody doesn't need 8. Some people do very well on 5 or 6, but making sure you check your vitals and all that, because you can't be wealthy, you can't accomplish your goals if you're not here.
So
That's
true.
just common sense.
So true.
So in saying that, I have learned to catnap. So I am always up, but I've learned to catnap, and it does make me better to accomplish everything else that I'm expanding with Ready Set Impact. Again, I specialize in television, film, and video productions, voiceovers, and of course, produce and direct. And in saying that, I handle a lot of things for recording artists, actors, models, and now it's come to influencers from YouTube to it. I have one client who was a very successful doctor in Atlanta,
Wow.
but wanted to expand her brand in media to create radio and content. So she came to me, and so she's doing that now. So people are realizing the brand thing. People were making 6 figures out of their bedroom. That's the blessing in all of these things and what we can do. Just like you, Coop, you're doing so much. You're doing your actor thing, but you, thank goodness, you bringing back your new season. This stuff is important. And so, in saying all that, the latest things I have coming up, just got finished working on a new comedy series. coming to Revolt Diddy's network this summer.
Nice.
So look out for that.
Yes.
Also, I am working on, I created a scripted series that's coming up. So I am currently casting for artists, musicians, comedians, dancers, because the script is based off of talent and their stories. Now, here's where you can be good at what you do, but there's an element of acting that is going to have to be there. It's almost like being able to express your own story. We're in a industry now, unfortunately, that development doesn't happen anymore because YouTube became the new A&R. So labels, they close all those departments. So a lot of times people don't understand these are different marketing arms. Once you've done the music, you've just started. You got to market it. You've got to be able to sell it. Nobody else, your team, they can have your back, but you're the one that has to impress promoters, every fan, to encourage them to share, to get your streams up. So it's a multi-layered thing. So you've got to be able to express all of that as a talent. Or what will happen, the blessing in this scripted series I'm doing, say you have a great record, you may be able to get royalties from that aspect of it, but somebody else may have to tell your story, an actor. So I'm looking for people to take them across the board to win, and that way their talent gets exposure from the series, and making sure you're prepared. Just like a lot of times people go on these reality shows and they may have a business thought or a brand, but they get on the television show, it's too late. The producers are like, no, this wasn't part of the script. It's not going to be done. They get kicked out of the series and realize, oh man, I missed my moment. There are very few people. You can take the people that have wanted this. And somebody take K. Michelle. She was like, no, I'm going to do these shows for you guys, but trust and believe. I'm going to expand all of my brands, my businesses, and everything else while I'm on. I'm going to promote my new single and album. That's going to be part of the process, but that comes with negotiations. But you have to be that player already ready coming in the door. So take care of your homework, get things done, get things set up. But it's a process, and people think you can just do it. Nah, got to go back to one on one. At the end of the day, you got to go back to one on one. And I will tell you that nothing takes the place. As much as I love social media, I'm a social media junkie,
Right.
but it will never take the place of, you know, Scoop with Coop telling somebody, at the store, and them checking the show out, them telling 5 friends, they're gonna come back. They're gonna stay with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with artists. People look like you could take somebody, classic old school person like Sade, to this day. We should come out every 10, 15 years.
Yep.
Who gets to do that? Come back, sell out the entire world and her fan base. They in the audience from 18 years old to 60, every
Word up.
race demographic. Who gets to do that? Very few. Very few. You know what
Very
I mean?
rare.
Maxwell is another one. Every 10 years, women, what? Meow. We waiting for Maxwell. Believe that, because you know what you're getting. You
Yep.
know his brand. You know he's going to turn you on
Yep.
and turn you out.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
So true. Now everybody that's
Absolutely.
watching, everybody's watching right now. Just like Jeannie said, if you feel like you have the skill, act, sing, whatever you need to do. I mean, hey, we will try to. I'm gonna try to give a contact information how to reach Jeannie social media wise, and let her know who you are. If you want to go for it, this is your chance. Like she
Yep.
said,
Submit.
yeah, this is the age of social media. Don't sit here and just watch people. Get out there and do it yourself also. Make sure you do that. Now, Jeannie, tell us about a little bit about iHeartRadio. What you got going on, girl?
A whole lot. That's 60 seconds of Hollywood. You have the Jeannie Jones show that will always stream and happen, and also 60 seconds of Hollywood, which is on iHeart. You can also download the Spinwax radio app, Accelerator Radio, all over the place. Dash Radio. That 60 seconds of Hollywood is where I give you a scoop, like Coop, from out here in LA. Of course, I end up in places that. TMZ talks about, but even after their cameras leave, I'm the one, because I've been doing this for a long time. I have relationships with artists, so a lot of times I'm sitting on the couch with them later on, and can bring you a different angle of things that happen when they go down, what's really going on. So yeah, I'm giving you scoop. Nobody else can.
Ha!
Yep, yep. So stay with that 60 seconds of Hollywood. Absolutely. And then, too, it's important to me to interview people from a perspective of you used to hearing what's coming out, who they working with, and a lot of the drama, and that's cool. I'm going to always give
Right.
you a scoop of what you want to hear. But I've always been known as an artist defender because I actually care. I mean, I started at 4 years old in theater, so I've always cared about the base of an artist,
Mm,
the heart of an artist. What they're doing when they're by themselves,
right.
when they feel like everything is against them. How do they get through? When the deal doesn't happen, who do they turn to, or how do they get through? Those are the questions that I ask a lot of artists when we sit down one on one, that you'll hear on my podcast, or
Mhm.
of course their turn ons, and what makes them meow and my kitty lounge. It's always good to hear what happens in relationships, their highs and lows, because unfortunately for all of us, I mean, we go through peaks and valleys in life,
Right.
but when you have to live that in the public eye, I mean, that's hell.
It
That's
is.
hell.
It is.
So yeah, I talk to them from a real person perspective. A lot of times they can't get that, and I genuinely care. So that's why a lot of times I can get to a lot of interviews that some people can't, because I'm coming from that perspective, and I feel good about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Everybody, make sure you do go to tune in to iHeartRadio. You have to check out her podcast because I'm not lying. She brings the scoop. Like me, but she got a whole different genre, a whole different audience. Make sure you do check it out. Now, I want to backtrack just a little bit, Jeannie.
Okay.
You've in the music industry, you've helped a lot of people, like I said before. Can you name just about a couple of people that you've actually helped bring up? And when I say bring up, I don't mean raise like a child, but you help them in their career to get to where they are today.
Well, a couple people I'm very proud of, because people joke me so bad and I bring it up often. One is Neo.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I never forget when I was most impressed with Neo from his writing. I could tell, I said, dang, he's got a pen. But then, Stay With Me, when his first single dropped, a lot of people were saying, Jeannie, you really good. You've been working with American Idol, developing a lot of artists from there. Maya was my very first client, my superstar, who's still killing the game across the board. Anybody following Maya, at the end of the day, talent is talent. She is sold out around the world because she's like that.
Yeah.
With Neo, I knew he was different. People tease me like, his name is, the fellas used to come in the studio like, Jeannie's name's corny. Where they gonna fit him? It's not gonna work on radio. And I was like, hold on, Tuffy. I said, if you listen to his lyrics, he is saying things to us women. We're not hearing anymore. Yeah, we go through the phase, you like the bad boy, but at the end of the day, a woman wants to feel good. She wants to be turned on. She wants to feel like a queen. She wants to be respected. And Neil was saying things right when we were going through, like in our R&B, the Jodeci's and the R. Kelly's, talking about bumping and grinding.
Right.
We love that all day long. And anybody who say they don't, we know it, when you in the corner, when you by yourself, you singing those songs. You can. It's part of our culture, who we are. But Neil was coming different then. When I saw how he performed, it was such a class act.
Mhm.
I was like, no, there's going to be space for him, and I knew he was going to be a star, and I knew he was going to be a superstar. So I got on the radio, talked about Neo when he first was coming to clubs. Nobody was checking for him, like, a little off. I was like, just hold tight. So he's somebody I'm very proud of. I knew it was going to happen, and now, I mean, just his catalog of music for himself, all the hits he's written, the things he's producing and acting, and just everything that he's done.
Right.
I'm just so proud. Another artist is Life Jennings. He's somebody I actually had to apologize to live on air, because when Must Be Life, his first single, came out, that was one thing. I mean, I knew, okay, it was a great R&B, solid R&B record,
Right.
but I said that his image, I thought he was a hip hop artist. Shame on me, Bad Genie, for assuming how somebody looked, how they were coming off.
Right.
So when I found out from the record rep, I said, man, I was woman enough when he came on my show.
Mhm.
I apologize. I assumed you were hip hop. And I was like, if your lyrics aren't clear like Jay-Z's and, the J. Cole's, I don't want to hear it. But that was not the case. I was like, man. So I got off air. He didn't ask me to do it. I wanted to do it. He had a meet and greet at Howard University.
Okay.
So I went over there with him, put up his posters. He was like, I've never seen nobody come off radio, big radio personality, and do that. I said, because that was my get down and my appreciation, my love for artists. I said, I like what you do. I like how you sound. And I believe you're going to do well because you're raw. You talk about your lows, going through prison and writing there and talking about it. And at the end of the day, when you're transparent like that, you're going to connect because somebody else has been there. They're there. And the fact that you can connect, that begins an audience, a
Wow.
fan base. So from there, he invited me to his show he had. I believe it was in New York, okay? And it was an acoustic set. And so when I came in, when he started playing and he picked up the guitar, it wasn't even 60 seconds into the set, I started crying. That's when I knew. I said, yep, he's going to have our ovaries flipping. We going to like him, ladies. I came back to DC, got on the air. I was like, yo, I said, can't play him now, but trust your girl. You could always, if I stamped you, if I gave you that meow status,
Right.
you know, I said, listen out for Life Jennings, ladies. I kept saying life, life. People like, what Jeannie talking about this life? I said, trust and believe. Sure enough, in time,
Blew up.
hit after hit after hit, live show sold out. And I have to give props, one more to oh my God, my baby. When he first was released on Kanye's label.
Um.
My brain is fried because I've had no sleep. John Legend,
Oh. Okay.
the iconic John Legend. Again, he was somebody used to come around the station, just had his keyboard, and they were like, Jeannie, you can't be serious. I said, I'm calling him again because he is saying what women want to hear, and he's a class act. But they were like, Jeannie, his voice is alternative. He's under Kanye, who's a massive superstar. Where they gonna fit him? AC, adult contemporary, but he's coming around to mainstream radio. Real for real, Jeannie. I'm like, yeah, give it time. Big superstar. Look at John Legend. I mean, massive,
True.
massive international star. And I couldn't be more proud of my friend in every aspect of him, not only in music, television, film, and it just goes on and on and on. And his, and just, been coaching and new host on the latest season of The Voice and just
Yep.
killing the game across the board.
Nice.
John Legend. Yep,
Nice.
yep. So those are just, a few folks that I was like, y'all can laugh at me if you want, but I'm going to stamp them. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Big
So I
shout
pretty
out.
much, I know who's marketable. I would say that's my ultimate gift. I produce and direct and do multimedia, but God gave a lot of people talent. I am good at who is marketable and what's going to sell.
I
Yeah.
like it. Big shout outs to Life. Big shout outs to John, Neo, the whole gang. Big shout outs, Jenny. Thank you for helping them out. Now, Jenny, like I said, I know you're busy. I'm not gonna hold you much longer. How can the people that's watching right now catch you on social media?
You can interact with me at The Jeannie Show. That's THE, of course. I spell it like Jeannie. I dream of Jeannie. So it's TheJeannie Show. At The Jeannie Show, all social media. And if you are a vocalist, dancer, comedian, a musician, if you're great at your instrument, I am casting for an upcoming scripted series. Would love to see you. You can email me a submission. Just introduce yourself, do your talent, and I will send you slides. And those are pieces of scripts for you to execute and send back if the casting department is interested. You can send that submission, and Scoop, you can also post that under your content at Impact Casting Calls at gmail.com. That's Impact Casting Calls, then that's at gmail.com.
You heard it here first, people. You make sure you go do that. If you got skills, Jenny is waiting for you. Now, Jenny, one last thing. What advice would you give
Yes.
any male or female that wants to become an actor, an actress, a musician, a producer? They want to follow in that footstep of that line to get into the industry. What would you tell them right now?
I would say study, study, and be prepared. And by saying that, I mean, you've got to, one thing that's beautiful about social media, I mean, everything is right here online. People are becoming millionaires, like I said, out of their bedrooms. Study whatever it is you're trying to do, study the greats. And certain things don't change, in terms of how you execute technology and more of what we need to know has. You stay up on those things, but study the people that came before you. I mean, really study
Right.
what they did. I mean, there's so many even great things on. If you look at the story streaming on Netflix right now of Sam Cooke, when you look at
Yeah.
some of these legends whose music still plays, you want to create a brand, whether you're acting, whether it's a product you're creating, whether it's music that's going to live. I mean, when you get those publishing checks, those are the things that sustain and are consistent because you can't tell when something's going to hit. And now you want your brand to be so good that these corporations want to endorse you. That's how artists, your Drakes, your Jay-Z's, that's how they make the big bucks. Their streams, they're consistent, they doing well, but that took years, okay? But when those Verizons come and give them checks, or any other company, cars are endorsing them, or when Chance the Rapper gets that Kit Kat, you can laugh all day. Those checks are massive,
That's
and they
true.
use their songs in the commercials.
Yep.
That's where those $1 million checks, those publishing checks come in.
Yeah.
So again, study your craft, study the ones that have done that. What can you do to make it your own and take it to the next level? And also, in between researching, you got to be the best. What is making you good at being you? Not anybody else. Not anybody else. I'm talking about you. Is it the hook? Is it the way that you play? Is it the way that you hit that guitar? Is it the way you perform the song? Is it the way you embrace the microphone?
Hmm.
What is it about you that's going to make somebody come back? That's what you're going to want to study and that's what you're going to want to answer. And you do that all day, every day. You got to feed and take care of yourself first. When you get up in the morning, what can you do to get your brand out there a little bit more every day? Trust and believe what you're doing, somebody else isn't. It's going to inch you further. Trust your girl.
You heard it here first, people. You heard it from Jeannie Jones. She's doing massive things, impact. If you got the career, you got the talent, you know what to do, send it right to Jeannie. Jeannie, thank you very much for coming on the show again. And guys, make sure you stay tuned. Next episode will be announced soon. Jeannie, you have a great day, girl.
Big scoop with Coop always, baby. Meow.
Ah,
Bye.
all right.